Welcome! Today we're talking about trust region methods, a family of optimization algorithms that quietly power some of the most robust systems in modern machine learning, from reinforcement learning to large-scale training. By the end of this talk, you'll understand why trust region methods are the workhorse behind reliable second-order optimization, and you'll see exactly where they already live inside tools you may be using right now, things like TRPO in reinforcement learning and K-FAC-style optimizers in large model training. Here's the core idea in one sentence. Instead of picking a direction first and a step length second, the way line search does, trust region methods build a local model of the objective, usually a quadratic, and only trust that model inside a bounded region. Everything else in this talk is really just a variation on that one idea. Let's start with why this matters. First-order optimizers trust a straight line. Real loss surfaces rarely are. If you've ever hand-tuned a learning rate schedule, warm-up, cosine decay, gradient clipping, you've already felt this problem, even if you didn't name it. Here's what's actually going on underneath. Deep network loss surfaces are dominated by saddle points, not local minima. That's a well-established result. Dauphin and colleagues showed back in 2014 that in high-dimensional non-convex problems, saddle points vastly outnumber local minima, and plane gradient descent can stall for a long time navigating around them because the gradient alone doesn't tell you which way the curvature bends. Learning rate schedules are really just a hand-tuned proxy for curvature information the optimizer never actually measures. And ill conditioning, very different curvature in different directions, means any single step length, however carefully chosen, will be too timid somewhere and too aggressive somewhere else. Add mini-batch noise on top, and even your direction estimate is shaky from one step to the next. So here's the reframe that trust region methods offer. Instead of asking, how far should I step, they ask, how far can I still trust my local model of the world? And they let that answer shrink or grow, automatically, every single iteration. No schedule required. One local model, one trusted radius, one honest ratio. That's the mental model underneath every method we'll cover today. At each point in the optimization, call it x sub k, we build a local quadratic model of the objective, using the gradient and either the true Hessian or some approximation of it. Rather than trusting that model everywhere, we restrict our candidate step to a ball of radius delta sub k. That's the trust region you see drawn here as the dashed circle. We solve, at least approximately, for the best step inside that ball. Now here's the part that makes the whole system self-correcting. Once we have a candidate step, we compute a ratio, rho sub k, actual reduction in the real objective divided by the reduction our model predicted. That ratio is simultaneously the acceptance test and the radius adjustment signal. Three regimes matter. If rho is small, or even negative, our model misled us. We reject the step outright and shrink the radius for next time. If rho is moderate, we accept the step and leave the radius alone. And if rho is close to 1, our model nailed it. We accept the step and grow the radius, betting that a good approximation will keep holding over a larger region. This is exactly the mechanism behind SciPy's trust constraint solver and the classical trust region software from Kahn, Gould, and Toint. Notice there's no learning rate to tune here. The radius tunes itself, based entirely on the model's own track record. Let's turn that mental model into an actual algorithm loop. 4 steps, repeating. Step 1, build the local model. We form our quadratic using the gradient and the Hessian, or a curvature approximation, at the current point. Step 2, solve the subproblem. We approximately minimize that model subject to staying inside the trust radius. In practice, this means one of 3 approaches. The Cauchy point, which is cheap and steepest descent based. The dogleg method, which interpolates between the Cauchy point and the full Newton step, or Stihog conjugate gradient, which we're going to look at in code in just a moment. Step 3, score the step. We compute that ratio rho, actual reduction over predicted reduction. Step 4, update and repeat. Reject and shrink, accept and hold, or accept and grow. And then we're back to step 1, at the new or possibly the same point. Here's the detail worth sitting with. The only piece of state carried across iterations is that single scalar, delta sub k, the trust radius. Everything else is recomputed fresh each time. And Stihog conjugate gradient is the workhorse at real machine learning scale, precisely because it never needs the Hessian explicitly, only Hessian vector products, which keeps memory linear in model size. Let's see exactly what that looks like as code.
This is Stihog conjugate gradient, truncated CG, adapted to respect a trust region boundary. It's the standard subproblem solver at machine learning scale, and understanding why it's shaped this way tells you almost everything about production trust region optimization. The first thing to notice, there's no explicit Hessian anywhere in this code. The function takes an HVP argument, a Hessian vector product, which for any twice differentiable model can be computed with one extra reverse mode pass at roughly the cost of one more gradient evaluation. That keeps memory linear in parameter count, the same order as plain backpropagation. Two exit conditions make this different from textbook conjugate gradient. First, negative curvature. Ordinary CG assumes a positive definite quadratic, but on a non-convex loss, D transpose HD can go negative, meaning the model is unbounded below in that direction. When that happens, the algorithm doesn't try to keep minimizing an undefined problem. It immediately rides straight out to the trust region boundary. Second, boundary crossing. The moment a proposed step would leave the ball of radius delta, the algorithm solves a small quadratic for exactly where the current search direction crosses that boundary and stops precisely there. The third, and most ordinary exit, is just normal CG convergence, a small residual. This is structurally the same machinery you'll find inside PyTorch's higher-order gradient utilities, inside Hessian-free optimization frameworks, and as we'll see shortly, inside TRPO itself. Now that we can solve the subproblem, let's look at how this actually stacks up against the optimizers most teams reach for by default. Trust region methods, line search, and adaptive first-order methods like Atom and SGD, how do they actually compare? On convergence guarantees, trust region methods have well-established global convergence to a stationary point with a strong local rate near a good minimum. Line search under the Wolf conditions has similar global guarantees, but it commits to a search direction before it even checks step length. Atom and SGD offer no formal guarantee on general non-complex losses, but decades of empirical success at scale speak for themselves. On ill conditioning, this is where trust region methods really separate themselves. Because the model explicitly includes curvature, a single step can automatically be long in flat directions and short in steep ones, with no manual per-parameter tuning required. The real trade-off is cost. Solving the trust region subproblem, even approximately, costs several Hessian vector products per outer iteration, versus a single cheap gradient for SGD or Atom. That's exactly why trust region methods dominate where iteration count matters more than iteration cost. Reinforcement learning policy updates, scientific computing, constrained fine-tuning, while adaptive first-order methods dominate large batch deep learning training, where cheap iterations at massive scale win out. That cost trade-off has real failure modes in production, so let's name them directly. First, subproblem solve cost can dominate. Even truncated CG needs several Hessian vector products per outer step, and on very large models, that can outweigh the benefit of taking fewer, smarter outer iterations. The common mitigation is to cap CG iterations aggressively, 5 to 10 is typical, or to swap in a block diagonal or Kronecker-factored curvature approximation, known as KFAC, instead of computing a full Hessian vector product every time. Second, stochastic noise corrupts the ratio test. Remember, rho compares actual reduction to predicted reduction. But on a single mini-batch, both of those numbers are noisy estimates. That means the accept, reject, and radius adjustment logic can start to thrash. The fix is either larger, variance-reduced batches used specifically for the ratio test, or adopting adaptive sampling stochastic trust region methods, which we'll get to shortly. Third, memory for curvature information. Storing an explicit Hessian or even a quasi-Newton history is simply infeasible at billions of parameters. The mitigation here is to stay fully Hessian-free, matrix-free Hessian vector products only, or to use structured approximations like diagonal, Kronecker-factored, or low-rank curvature.
Let's ground all of this in a real, named production system: Trust Region Policy Optimization, or TRPO, introduced by Schulman and colleagues in 2015. In reinforcement learning, a policy update that's too large can catastrophically collapse performance. And there's no early stopping once a bad policy starts collecting bad data, because the agent keeps generating its own, now corrupted, training data. TRPO's insight was to reframe trust region in policy space. Instead of bounding the size of a parameter step, it bounds the KL divergence between the old policy and the new candidate policy, shown here as the dashed region in distribution space, not parameter space. Mechanically, TRPO forms a local model using the Fisher information matrix, a natural curvature measure for probability distributions, and solves the constrained subproblem with conjugate gradient, plus a line search to strictly enforce the KL constraint. That's structurally the same Hessian free machinery as the Steihaug CG code we just looked at, just applied to Fisher vector products instead of Hessian vector products. This gave TRPO a genuine, practical monotonic improvement guarantee under reasonable assumptions, which is why it became foundational in deep reinforcement learning. Worth noting, PPO, proximal policy optimization, was later introduced as a simpler first-order approximation to the same trust region idea, trading some of the formal guarantee for much lower implementation and compute cost. Same cost versus robustness trade-off we just discussed, playing out in how a real system evolved over time.
Let's look at where this is all heading. The hard-won lesson here is that the ratio test itself needs to be trustworthy. Classical trust region theory assumes you can evaluate your objective and its gradient exactly. Production machine learning never gets that. Every evaluation is a mini-batch estimate. Storm-style stochastic trust region methods address this directly, replacing the classical ratio test with a momentum-based, variance-reduced gradient estimator. So rho stays a trustworthy signal even under mini-batch noise, without requiring exponentially growing batch sizes as training progresses. These methods achieve the same order-optimal sample complexity as the best-known stochastic non-convex methods, while still keeping curvature awareness. That's a meaningfully different guarantee than what atom-style methods offer. The second frontier is distributionally robust optimization, or DRO, which borrows this exact same framing at the level of the training distribution itself. Instead of bounding a step in parameter space, DRO defines an uncertainty set, a trust region over distributions, and optimizes for the worst case within that set. Philosophically, that's identical to TRPO bounding KL divergence over policies, the same trust region logic, one level of abstraction higher. The unifying idea across both frontiers, robustness comes from being explicit about how far you trust your current model, of the loss, of the gradient estimate, or of the data distribution itself, and adapting that trust based on.
Let's compress everything into 5 heuristics you can actually use in a design review. 1. Let the ratio decide, not a schedule. If you're hand-tuning a learning rate schedule to fight curvature, a trust region-style ratio test can replace that guesswork with a self-correcting signal. 2. Never form the Hessian explicitly. Use Hessian vector products or structured approximations like KFAC. Explicit Hessians simply don't scale past small models. 3. Match the region to the risk. Bound the quantity that actually matters for your system. Parameter space steps for classical optimization, KL divergence for policy updates, distributional divergence for robustness under shift. 4. Treat noise as a first-class design constraint. A naive ratio test breaks under mini-batch noise. Reach for variance-reduced estimators rather than just shrinking the region and hoping for the best. 5. Reach for trust region methods when robustness beats raw speed. They cost more per iteration, so spend that cost where a bad step is genuinely unacceptable. Reinforcement learning policies, safety-critical fine-tuning, and lean on cheaper first-order methods where iteration throughput at scale is what wins.
If you want to go deeper, here's where to start. Nossedal and Wright's Numerical Optimization, Chapter 4, is the accessible on-ramp. Clear, example-driven derivations of the Cauchy point, the dogleg method, and Steihaug CG. Kahn, Gould, and Toint's trust region methods, published by SciPy, is the deeper, more exhaustive reference for anyone implementing production-grade solvers.
On the applied side, the original TRPO paper by Schulman and colleagues is essential reading for anyone in reinforcement learning, and it pairs well with the later PPO paper. The STORM paper is the right next step if you're facing the stochastic noise failure mode we discussed. SciPy's Optimize module, using the trust constraint method, is worth trying hands-on. It's a real, usable implementation, not just a teaching example. And Martin's and Gross's KFAC paper rounds things out as the most widely deployed curvature-aware method at deep learning scale. Let's close with the one idea worth remembering. Trust the model only as far as it has proven accurate, and let evidence, not a schedule, decide how far that is. Every variant we covered today, classical trust region optimization, TRPO's KL-bounded policy updates, STORM's variance-reduced stochastic ratio test, DRO's distributional uncertainty sets, is the same idea, applied at a different level. Be explicit about how far you trust your current model of reality. Act within that boundary, and adjust the boundary based on evidence rather than a fixed schedule. Thank you. I'd love to open it up for questions. Happy to go deeper on implementation cost in specific frameworks, when to prefer KFAC over a full trust region solve, or how DRO's uncertainty sets get chosen in practice.